Hello, Ben's video blog, part, I don't know, 7, 8, I don't know how many videos I've made now. I'll turn this around actually. Right, so you may or may not recognise what this is. This is a little bit altered. It is essentially, it's a high object. My camera does not want to zoom in on it. I seem to have a lot of trouble focusing on that. Okay, you can kind of see from about here. Right, so at the very top you've got the info bar. We've gone through all this in the other video, and the problem that I was having was that it was just giving constant data all the time. So I've put in a bank of ignore messages, which you can see, telling it to ignore certain elements. So it's ignoring element 10, that was already part of the high patch, so I might take that ignore out because I might want element 10. I'm still deprogramming the which parts to ignore, but I'm currently ignoring element 29, 30, 63, 67, 65, 25, 27, 26 and 69. I'll put the volumes up as high as it's going to go. You can hear that, but still the pad is still triggering off that information. And we can see in the red unpack box that that is element 40 and element 28. So if I write two new ignore messages now, we should end up with a completely silent pad that only responds if you listen. I'm going to touch the pad. I'll do it this way around because then the speaker gets pointed at the microphone's pointed at the camera. Right, so it's tricky. I've got one hand with the camera, one hand with the pad. Right, so I'm going to push the X button. Okay, square. Circle. Triangle. R2. R1. Okay, so let's try the L1. L2. So, select. It's a little like scratchy effect, and start. Okay, so I must be ignoring the start message. Well, that's the message there. The sticks, you'll see, do nothing because stick 1 is element 29, stick 2 is element 30. If we look back on the patch, one of the ignore messages, in fact the first ignores that I wrote after ignore 10 are 29 and 30, because I'd established that they were the ones with the sticks, and I'm not sure whether the pad, one of the sticks, was a little bit caught because when it was in its unpacked state it kept giving data from 29 and 30. So all I've done for my ignore messages is I've looked at the red box, which is, for some reason, an iPhone doesn't like looking at an iMac. Maybe I should have spent more on the Retina display. But the red box at the minute says 54, it's just changed to 54, 62, as 64, 62, 64, 62, 28. And what I'm doing with the pad in my hand is I'm moving it like this. So it's still giving some of that constant data, so I need to write a few more ignore messages, and then that will be it, all sorted. And you'll be ready to literally just touch it. I have noticed there seems to be an absence of a kick drum though, so none of these buttons seem specifically to be the snare. The snare is one of the range that the number that would be used to trigger a MIDI snare and a MIDI kick are obviously within the lower end of the numbers, which are generated from the motion of the pad, the constant data element which I was trying to remove. And as you can see, I've got a pole 240, which means every 240 microseconds it's going to ask the pad for data. And if I put this back in edit mode, I'm going to clear all of my data, all of my ignore data now, and you'll hear quite a dramatic change. pole 0. Let's cut that off. So you can see why that's a bit mental. So maybe if I keep the sticks and then ignore all the other messages, and then pole 240 again. I might put load bangs onto these ignores, I don't know. Now when I move the sticks, that doesn't seem so good. I'm going to ignore 29, ignore 30 as well. So I guess maybe they're not tied to the sticks. They are motion sensors, 29 and 30. And if I depress the sticks, which I think is the buttons L3 and R3. No, I'm not sure. Well, anyway, that's the end of this video, and it's come on a big step, and I'm almost completely there with the PS3 pad.